types, real life examples for reflection. And so we've got another example here. So we have the example of headlamps. Headlamps. So if you've seen in your car, let's say it's raining and in the night, so you need to turn on your headlamp if you're driving to see, right? Now we're going to be talking about how this headlamp really works. So simply, this is. So I'm first going to take the example of the sun. What do we know? Let's say this is our sun. This is our sun. Yeah, this is my sun. Not the best for suns. But whenever light rays are coming from the sun, they go in all the directions. They don't just go straight. They go like this, like this, like this, like this, and this, and so on. This is how a regular light, a luminous body works. It sends its light rays all around. But what's the problem with our headlamp? You see, this is our headlamp. Let's say this was the light source. This was the light source. Let me draw that with red instead. This is the light source. And now this light source sends light rays like this, like a normal light source, right? But what about the light rays that go on the sides? What about the light rays which go here, 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 here? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about these light rays. What happens to the light rays which hit the sides and the behind? Okay, so let's first look at the torch light. So just to point out that the way the torch light, the light which comes out from the torch and the light which comes out from the headlamp, it's the same funda. It's the same way how it works. So, but in a car headlamp, it might be just more powerful. That's basically the only difference. So I'm going to be using this since it's an easier way to explain it. So these are our light rays coming normally, and now we have these light rays which hit here. We have these light rays which hit here. So now I'm going to just talk about this, a concave mirror. So let me just draw my concave. Let me draw my concave mirror. It isn't the best. So we have our light rays which come like this, parallel light rays. Let's say we have only two, and then they reflect, and then they converge at one point, which we call the focus. Now I'm going to ask you a question. What happens if the light rays were coming from the focus? Instead, the light rays were coming from the focus, coming from here. They were coming like this. They were coming like this. What would happen? So, what would happen? So since the light rays, if they were coming parallelly, this was the direction. This is what would happen. So the light rays would come hit here and go to the focus. But if the light rays are coming from the focus, it's the opposite way around. What do I mean by that? It's simple. If the light rays were going like this, then they would come out like this. So the light rays would come like this, and they would come out like this. Let me draw that properly. So the light rays would become parallel. If they're coming from the focus, they'll become parallel. Let me write that. If the light rays come from the focus, they reflect and become parallel. Okay, so just put this down here. So then we can take, let me go to this here. So if we take this diagram again, let me erase everything. So now coming back to this, we know that this is the light source. Or else we can say that that light source is acting as the focus for this concave mirror, which is the back side or the side part. You can see this part is the focus, the concave mirror, sorry. So then the light rays which would hit this, light rays which would hit this, would reflect and become parallel, would reflect and become parallel, which would reflect and become parallel. So this is what happens to these light rays. And then we have the normal light rays which come straight. So this is what happens to the light rays. And since they're coming from the focus, for this, let's say the light rays which hit this and come back, they would look like they're coming from the center when they're actually coming from the concave mirror behind.